So we do have the full team comps here. I guess we didn't just get to know about it. Okay, so the Azir,
Trust me, bro.
makes sense. You take a lot of range, like we were kind of saying. Oh, we're actually into the Rift. What a surprise.
Still foggy. The weather hasn't quite cleared up tonight, unfortunately, but regardless, the games will go on. It is esports. We've got J Team versus Deep Cross Gaming. 4th game of the night. Not quite the final one yet, but it just means we've still got a lot of League of Legends to go. Let's see who will come out with the win. It's hard to predict this one. This one's probably one of the closer matchups we've had.
Yeah, I'm not too sure who's favored in this game. I do think that Deep Cross Gaming has a lot of tools. Like, this is 5 champs that can kind of get stuff done and start fights. On the other side, I'm not a huge fan of Azir in the current meta. I do think it's pretty good against the enemy team comp. Like, having a lot of range is really nice, and obviously it is very strong in the pure 1v1, but I feel like in actual early skirmishes, Azir leaves a lot to be desired. Now, we haven't seen a ton of early skirmishes today. It has been a lot about, who is getting the mid priority, but not so much the actual fights. Hanabi does spot them moving in here. Probably just going to go for the ward on red buff.
Well, they've actually lane
swapped. Lane swap. Interesting. Okay. So we haven't seen a lane swap in a long time. Oh, wow.
Hanabi.
Okay, this is really bad.
Doesn't have
He's
a flash.
forced to start E, so he can't farm. And it was also probably going to have to base. I think if you're Hanabi, you probably save TP.
That is so... Look at what J Team's doing here. This is so creative. They've got RUA actually leashing. We haven't seen this since like season 4.
This is really crazy. So the reason this doesn't really happen anymore is because they made it so the other towers, basically the bot lane tower takes normal damage, but the other towers take reduced damage until 5 minutes, which is why the lane swap meta kind of stopped. But here, they've actually gone for it just to kind of avoid this oppressive lane and make sure that Nara can't really do anything. I think it's pretty smart what Heimer's done here. He's actually just based and kind of left Ashe to verse Cassante, although I feel like if you're playing Ashe versus Cassante and you play it really well, you're fine. But if you make a mistake, I feel like Cassante could definitely punish you for it.
A lot of creative adaptation on both sides here. Orca has just showed up, and Malva, I'm not sure he's going to be able to get this Krug.
Oh my God, actually just ignites him. He's forced to flash out.
Oh, 3 Krugs. Wow,
yeah,
that's really good for Deep Cross Gaming.
Well, he E'd to last at that. Damn, Struggle City. Okay, but that's good. They're going to be able to defend this dive, and I think Ashe should be fine in this lane for at least a while. So I think they'll probably maintain these lane assignments until after first base. Going in for the red here. Poppy, don't think she can get here in time. Depends how fast Wukong does it.
J-Team, wow, this is... I'm having trouble wrapping my head around this. It's just... I haven't seen this for so long. It's exciting stuff, and I just wonder who comes out on top here, because J-Team, they did sort of get the initial edge, but Orca was very quick to respond by matching it so that we've got 2 players in the top lane, making it so that Hanabi can actually survive the lane a little bit. I do think that having the Ashe solo in the bot lane can definitely be dangerous if you don't have a good read on where the enemy jungler is, especially when he's pushed up like this super far.
Yeah, this is where you really hope your ADC knows what Cassante does, because if he doesn't, ends up too far into the tower and gets knocked into it.
Looks like they're actually swapping back now. I wonder if Deep Cross Gaming have a read on this. It looks like Orca has pretty much matched them tempo for tempo.
Okay. So kind of just, yeah, it's going to go back to standard lanes, and I guess that's kind of good for the Ashe Heimer to get back in this lane, right? Like, you want to be able to abuse this 2v2.
Yeah.
That's what you've picked for. Deep ward goes down.
Makes me wonder what the purpose of that was by J-Team, because sure, they managed to force Nara to start E, but they lost Lauva's flash.
Well, I think you managed to avoid that really oppressive, like, levels 1 to 3, and now you're maybe at the point where you can do something about it. So I feel like it kind of worked out. Like, top lane is still relatively even, and so is bot lane.
That's true. J-Team actually do have control over this wave right now as well, because Questgata took a base. He is coming back with a pickaxe over a longsword advantage, though.
Okay, so Wukong might look to enter the bot river here. I don't think anything can really happen mid. They both seem too safe.
Oh, Hana's looking on mid lane.
Looking mid, yeah. Oh, we kind of see him in the background here.
Gonna find too much, unfortunately. He's already taken the bottom river scuttle. He's gonna be passing towards his Gromp for now, but ultimately it looks like all across the map people are kind of just settling down after the initial level 1 fiasco and starting to farm back up again.
Yeah, so Minji forces Nesty to base first. I think is actually going to be on the lost chapter here, possibly. If he is, actually very, very ahead in terms of items. Let's see what he picks up. Well, actually goes for the Merc treads. Interesting. So Mercs are very good against Syndra. Also, I guess, yeah, good versus Ashe. And there's the Heimer as well. So it kind of makes sense. I'm not sure that it's so good to buy this early in the game. Oh, actually a 3v3 breaking out. Bruce flashes away. Is slowed. He cleanses the slow. Oh, and he goes down. Wow, that actually did a lot of damage.
That auto was crazy.
Yeah,
I guess that's a pickaxe diff.
Yeah. Now, that was pretty nice. So they get both the sums and the kill, which has to feel pretty bad for Bruce. You're also going to miss this giant stacked wave. Yeah, that's really crucial. And Wukong is actually, yeah, he's going to start the dragon here as well.
Yeah, a bit rough. Maybe a bit too overeager from J-Team. Walking into a bush with Heimerdinger turrets is never really going to turn out well for you. Even if they weren't in it for long, just like starting off the fight with that sort of initial chunk is rough. Yeah. Because all you can really do is run away. And when you run away, the Ashe is going to hit you where it hurts the most.
Okay, so this drag is going down. Cinder does have mid-prior at present. Top lane is, yeah, kind of a snooze fest right now. It's kind of to be expected. Both of them kind of got their game plans ruined by the level 1. Okay, let's see a replay of this. So I guess Bruce was just like a bit too far up. The ward didn't, yeah, so Hana played around the vision really well. They tried to contest this bush because they thought they had their jungler here, but it's actually a 3v3. And this actually did so much damage on the back end. I'm still surprised by how much damage the Ashe order did, but yeah, takes him out.
Very good.
Sup, Cap. I love that. I've never seen that before. That's really good.
Okay. That's so good. Yeah. I've never seen it on the forehead.
Yeah, that's a new meta.
Yeah, ultimately J-Team just like weren't aware that Han was actually lurking around in the river, just managing to dodge that villain vision.
Yeah, Orca is getting so aggressive here. The Lucian doesn't have any sums, and Jaime puts a ton of damage into it. I think Bruce just dies here. They trade one back, but it does go on to Nami, and I think Nami has flash still. Okay, so she gets out. I think this is still better for DCG, although Ashe might end up going down here. Doesn't have any sums. Yeah, I think she's just dead. Can maybe
might pick up Enso?
Nope.
No.
Okay. So I think overall, yeah, it's probably better for J-Team. The wave is pushing to them. But at the same time, your AD carry dies again. Misses a fair amount of XP. Doesn't get any of the kills.
Yeah, lots of trades back and forth on the bot lane, but going to turn out pretty even. Let's take a look back at what happened here. Orca finding a lot of damage onto Bruce, and same with Kreisgardner, but Bruce manages to get a lot of damage back on the backside as well.
I feel like Orca could have disengaged a bit earlier. I don't think you need to stay for these extra Heimer autos. I think that Ashe is going to kind of clean that up. It's kind of hard to respect, though, because I feel like Lucian just does so much, almost like surprise damage, you know? It's like the Lucian plus Nami just, okay, yeah. So we're actually on Herald. DCG managed to pick this up. So they've gotten the Drag, they've gotten the Herald, and their bot lane's in a relatively good state. Gold's still fairly even, though. They actually lane swap again. Okay, so they're I think they brought their bot lane up here to try and contest the Herald, but they got here too late. Bruce does have cleanse up. Could actually Ashe ult the Nami instead. Okay, just gonna farm this one out.
I think this build that Kreisgardner is opting for as well is really interesting. He's opted for Tiamat as well. Likely a result of that gold difference that they managed to build up over the wide string of kerfuffles occurring in the bot lane.
The Han is actually spotted on the ward here. And Poppy's on the other side of the map, so J-Team need to really play respectfully here. There's going to be no help from their jungler. Just have to wait. Try not to die. Now, I wonder what's going to happen with this Herald. I feel like there's not much putting it mid. Okay, so Hanan's spending a lot of time here. And, ooh, so he places the pink, but he doesn't know that he was spotted on a ward before. Probably is actually starting the path back to top side.
Yeah, looks like they're going to try and potentially take a 3v3, or maybe wait for Hana to base.
Yeah, Hana's been here a very long time. It actually is just spotted out by the Lucian W. I feel like Bruce might be surprised that he's, you know, still there after all that. So that was a lot of wasted time. And Poppy's able to use that just to kind of farm up a bit.
Both mid laners, for now, have managed to pick up their lost chapters. Coming back to this Ashe build, it looks like she's going for Ravenous Hydra first. So potentially, is that potentially like a CDR Ashe build?
Yeah, I think the build that was used before was like Ravenous Mandate was.
As ADC.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I think it's pretty good actually. I still feel like Ashe is a much better support, but if you do go for the Ashe AD, I think it's not bad. Okay, so they're actually heralding mid. I kind of like it. It is going to be hard to take this tower from Azir later, but at the same time, I don't think you can get a whole lot done here. In fact, might even need to respect the Azir engage. So yeah, backing off. I feel like the Herald, yeah, there's not a great place to use it here, to be honest. Gonna have to drop it somewhere.
Meanwhile, RUA slowly just farming it out in bot lane. Hasn't been much excitement for top laners. Even in this lane swap game, they haven't been able to do that much. They're kind of just on the receiving end of all the drama.
And so lanes end up in a weird position again. I think Lucian Nami definitely has kill threat onto Anar, especially while they're mini. On the other side of the map, though, Cassante probably will be forced off his tower. It's definitely a hard champ to dive, but they have 4 people.
They've only just spotted it out, but it seems like he's actually going to be able to walk that one off.
Yeah, so both top laners being respectful. I think being a top laner and competitive, you kind of expect this to happen every now and then.
Well, Hanabi's actually coming back in. He's supposed to Mega.
Oh, okay, so he gets the flash, but I think Nar will... Okay, actually doesn't quite hit Mega. To be fair, I think if he hits Mega, he probably dies anyway. But he would buy a little bit more time. There is a decent trade for it. They do get the drag. It's probably not worth it overall, but it is a little bit of a consolation prize. I don't think you can dive this Cassante. He's just much too tanky.
And how he's tanky at all stages of the game. That's pretty cool champion.
Yeah. Okay, so second drag is going to be picked up for DCG. On the other side, a lot of gold goes into the Lucian. In fact, J-Team are actually ahead in gold right now. And Lucian is the benefactor of a lot of this.
Although keep in mind that DCG have managed to pick up 2 dragons so far, and actually a decent amount of J-Team's gold is on Enso on the Nami, who's picked up 2 kills for himself. Still at the bottom.
Bruce
okay, I take that back.
Yeah, Bruce he's going crazy.
Yeah.
But actually a lot of gold is going to be picked up by Ashe here as soon as his tower falls. Yeah, so Ashe and Heimer both getting a fair amount. Heimer actually has more gold than Cassante, which is kind of funny, but
yeah, he must have been proccing that spell thief almost permanently.
Yeah.
Oh, he hasn't swapped to the sweeper though. That's a critical error for a support.
Oh, I actually always do that when I play sport.
Oh, he's got it now.
Okay, and he's got the Rylai's already, which is, yeah, I mean, they're in a good spot to fight. But there's not really much to fight for. There's no Herald for another minute 30. There's no Dragon for a while. Mandate's completed for Nami as well.
Ravenous Hydra for Christgarda as well. I do feel like if there is going to be a fight at this Rift Hill, DCG have a bit of an advantage. As long as they're able to cut it out effectively.
Yeah. Okay. Lucian's just kind of farming up. We'll see whether or not the teams opt to contest this Herald. They might just choose to give Herald and get another tower onto Lucian. Because you could maybe just give Herald and play for the bot tower.
Wow, this is so much wave clear.
Okay, so Syndra opts for the Leandries. Kind of like it. There's a lot of health stackers in this game.
Yeah, it seems like DCG are actually pushing for more control on the bot side and not really worrying too much about the Rift Herald. Which is interesting, because I would have thought they'd want to fight here, but...
Yeah, I think they'll move back up to it. I think they're just like allowing Syndra to farm this wave, and then Syndra, worst case, can TP to the Herald. I'd be very surprised if they give it, given that they're, you know, kind of hitting their spikes. Something might actually happen around mid. They have a lot of engage tools, but with the cleanse on Lucian, it's kind of hard to make a meaningful pick. Don't have vision. Now, Syndra is drawing a lot of pressure bot, so Cassante is going to have to go answer, and then they're going to be able to use this priority to either control the bot jungle or maybe play for this Herald. Okay, so right now they're just kind of taking control of everything bot side.
DCG still putting a lot into bot side. They've got 3 players on the bottom of the map right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to concede Herald and they're going to play for this bot tier 2 instead.
Not a bad trade.
Yeah, I think it's better if you can get the bot tier 2, but I'm not sure it's possible. It just takes so long to do anything into Cassante, and I think this Herald is kind of just going down pretty much for free. I mean, there was a couple camps taken away, but I don't know. I like what JT got from this.
Yeah, I mean, it does feel like a bit of an error from DCG. They spent, maybe invested a bit too much on the bot side, hoping to get more onto that bottom tier turret, but ultimately they can't do too much, even though they've established a lot of control, and J-Team get a bit of a freebie. I just wonder where they're going to drop it. I think I would have to assume they're going to try and break the mid tower with it.
Yeah, I think you either break mid or you try play for 2 towers bot. They might just save it. Dragon's in a minute 30. Maybe just save it then and place it mid. Because I think if you're J team, you really need to start thinking about...
You need at least one dragon.
Yeah, you probably need to contest this next one. And they're reasonably strong for it. I think the third dragon fight is often where the game is, you know, make or break. It's like if the team that doesn't have any drags manages to get it, suddenly drag win con just isn't really that much of a thing anymore.
Yeah.
But if the team with 3 dragons gets it, suddenly drag is like the most important thing on the map. So this one, I always say the first 2 drags don't really matter a whole lot, but 3 and 4...
Yeah, it kind of
definitely
sets up the
matters.
stakes for the later ones,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Now, DCG do have very good control of this, so it's going to be quite hard for J-Team to kind of reclaim this. It's very, very difficult to face check a team that has Ashe, Heimer, Syndra.
In terms of power level, everyone has sort of hit their first item now, so it is pretty
Actually
even.
playing with some aggression of their own, but I don't think it's super worth it. They've used the Lucian ult, and I don't think that's like a huge deal for Ashe to lose a little bit of HP. So I'm liking DCG's position. They have a lot of control over the drag. They've got the 2 drags already, and they've still got all their tools.
Yeah, having that Ashe ult saved, Quaiscard actually not panicking, just burning the heal, staying alive. And he has Revenant's Hydra to heal him up. Not that he really needs health anyway, because he doesn't need the auto. He's got his build, he just wants to spam volley, spam ult, and not really be on the same screen as anyone, to be honest.
Okay, Kasante's TPing in. Okay, so Wukong's going for the flash engage, and Ashe ult comes through but misses. Nami ult does manage to connect. The Syndra stun.
Hanabi.
Ooh, he gets the stun onto the Azir, but I don't think there's any follow-up for him. The Nami might just go down.
Oh,
my
Hanabi
god.
juggling
Okay,
aggro.
this is pretty crazy, but I think J-Team, they've kind of run out of steam, and now DCG, they're just going to go to the drag.
Yeah, wow, that was a great look on Hana. Even though not much came from that initial engage, it created enough pressure and enough damage onto the side of J-Team that they really weren't able to follow up with too much. And Hanabi's second engage as well, just creating more of that disruption. DCG pretty much full health bars across the board.
Yeah, so they're going to pick up their 3rd drag, and this is definitely... J-Team's in a bit of trouble. I don't think... Yeah, it's going to be really difficult for them to contest this 4th dragon. The gold is still relatively even. It's not like they're horribly behind or anything, but if DCG can set up again like they did just then, it's impossible to face check into them. And that just means the onus is kind of on you to really force something to happen. And I mean, they tried with the Lucian ult, but they couldn't quite find it.
Makes me wonder why they invested so much onto the Ashe, because I feel like that is probably the person that damage matters the least on.
Syndra TP'd out, was terrified of getting dived there. Probably for good reason. There is a Poppy right next to her.
He's laughing.
Yeah.
Well, he's coming back anyway.
Oh my god, not
scary,
round
Ashe
2.
ult. Ooh, so close.
Yeah. He does have Mercs. I'm not sure if it'll actually end up in a kill, but it would be...
I
pretty
respect
good
the
chunk.
attempt.
Yeah.
They tried to coordinate that so that they would push Minji into the right spot at the right time, but just barely off. But, I mean, the Ashe ult is going to be on such a low cooldown anyway. It doesn't matter too much.
Okay, so they actually might look for something. Nara does have TP and has Mega, so could TP behind. I think this Wukong is actually just dead to rights.
Wow.
And maybe a follow-up onto Syndra. Syndra flashes out nice and early, but the Lucian manages to take her out. And the Heimer, I think... Okay, Bruce, I think, might have overextended, maybe dies.
Not
okay,
quite.
gets out. On the other side of the map, Nara did get a top tower, but I don't think there's anything else that can really chase off the back of this. On the other hand, there is just a couple kills. There's no like Baron or Dragon coming from it. And Nara is trading pretty much equally on the other side of the map. Ooh,
Oh,
if
and
that
Ashe
Ashe
ult
ult had stopped the
stops
TP, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, that would have been huge for DCG. But regardless, I mean, it is a good series of picks for J-Team.
Yeah. I think it's definitely slightly worth for them in terms of gold.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, yeah, I mean, it can often be dangerous at this stage of the game to sort of send 5 to 1 lane, because in the off chance that you aren't able to get anything, the results can be devastating for you on the other side of the map. Luckily, they managed to avoid most of that and pick up some kills. Heading into a pause.
Ooh, I wonder what the issue is.
Take a guess. Take a swing at it.
Ref, my top laner didn't TP to counter gank. No, I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay, well, we're in a replay during the meantime, so we'll kind of see how this started. So they bring 4 members bot, or 5 members bot, and Nara's trading on the other side. So they should know that they don't really have to do anything here.
Yeah.
All they have to do is kind of chill out. But I think Hana gets a bit antsy and kind of, ends up really, really far. And then the rest of the team, they don't really adapt, I guess, to the depth and end up, taking a lot of damage on the way out.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't notice in the fight, but Ash actually flashed forward and didn't manage to pick up a kill. So it's probably not going to have it for
Definitely
the next Dragon fight.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of over-aggression in general from the side of DCG, because they had Nesty TP out and he just walked back, and then he got himself into trouble again. It feels like they wanted to have their cake and eat it too, and ultimately really didn't work out for them. I feel like Hanabi was achieving a good amount. It was slow progress, but it was progress in the side lane. You can just trade the towers and that's whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's tough. You've got to have a lot of discipline there, but obviously it's a lot easier for us to say when we have full vision, right? Like if you're Wukong, maybe you don't even think you're under pressure there, but there is some engage tools like the Azir that Azir can cover a large distance and, engage on you from angles that you might not expect. I think we're actually getting back into the game in just a moment. Okay, here we are.
That was a quick pause. Usually in the pauses last like 20 minutes. So
yeah, the top laner has been disciplined, and now we're back to the game. No problem at all.
No, I didn't realize this before, but a huge CS difference for Hanabi in the top lane, 60 CS ahead. I guess that is a result of him being a little bit more cautious with his TPs and taking time to farm up instead. And I wonder if that's enough for him to be stronger in the side lane than Cassandra. He has 2 levels up as well.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely gets priority in the side lane. This is much different from the other Cassantes because I feel like, I don't know, it could just be the matchup, but I feel like Cassante's not meant to be this far behind. He has probably given up a bit too much. And it's not like they've really gotten a whole lot for it. They're down 3 dragons and they didn't get any of the heralds, so... Or I think they got 1 herald actually. But it's not like they've secured a lead off Cassante giving up all the CS he has, and now... It's going to be really tough for them to contest that 4th drag. They're actually up in kills, but it feels like they're miles behind.
He's not like other Cassantes, that's for sure. Next dragon, Mountain Soul, coming up in 1 minute 30. We'll see what DCG is starting to prepare for this. Walker is going to cop an early base for now to pick up some more vision. So doing the same.
Yeah, I think if you're J-Team, you could maybe just give the Soul and one-shot the Baron. They do have a lot of Baron DPS. But, I don't know, giving over, what is it, Mountain Soul?
It doesn't feel good,
feels
right?
very, very bad. I think it's like the easiest Soul to play with. It just, makes you tankier. You don't really need to play any differently. It's also very annoying if you don't have any, pen items yet. If you don't have, your LDRs, your Void Staffs or whatever. They're just innately more tanky.
Yeah, and it's hard to see how JTM are going to worm the way into the river for control because I feel like DCG, they just get pretty much automatic fire with the Ashe, with the Heimerdinger. JTM going to pick up this wave, but ultimately it's going to be taken back from them on the next one, I assume.
Yeah, so can DCG hold this priority? Because they are a little bit offside at the moment. JT actually can get the river, I think. Well, it's going to be very close. It's very scary to retake this control. You almost want to make them show on the mid wave again before you go for this. Both sides have the triggers to make this fight start.
The thing is, I don't think DCG mind too much about not having that initial river control because they can have Ashe playing from the back while G-Team are ideally in the Dragon Pit, just firing out volleys left, right, and center.
Okay, so it looks like J-Team have actually managed to weasel their way into the river. Nara's actually going to base and I guess look for a TP flank. Might just end up with a... Yeah, okay, so Nara's TPing to mid. J-Team, I don't think they can start this. Ooh, okay, they're going to... I think this is risky business. There's a lot of angles onto them right now. Syndra stun doesn't really connect with anyone valuable.
Prescott playing very patiently with the volleys, just gradually ratcheting out damage.
Nara charging up the Mega.
So low.
It's Poppy out of the fight.
Been caught out.
They can play slow. Okay, they can actually maybe just finish the drag here. Poppy's a little bit further away.
There is a ward on it.
Nami ult comes through. Okay, Hanabi's about to hit Mega and can just zone them off. I think he just finished the drag here.
Yeah, Dragon's there. J-Team have to back off.
Yeah. I think DCG, honestly, just feels like they're playing the setup a lot better than J-Team.
Yeah, despite not being in the river first, they approach it from the blue buff angle instead, and they just wait. They fire out volleys, they wait for Hanabi to get more of his Mega Nard charge, And yeah, J Team are just forced to leave. They did have a small window where they spotted Hana on the flank, but it doesn't mean much when he can just hop over the wall, right?
Yeah, I feel like J-Team, if you're in that position where the enemy team is just flanking from multiple directions, you have to choose one flank and just collapse on it, whether that's the Heimer and the Gnar over one wall or just a Wukong that's flanking on the other. It's really, if you're indecisive in that moment, you get punished hard for it. You just lose so much space.
For sure.
And I think they don't have the most obvious engage tools. It's something like, Lucian just ulting forward or, Azir going for the shuffle. It's not on the same level of kind of like non-committal as, an Ashe ult is, where you can just throw it and if it hits, great. And if it doesn't, it's fine.
Yeah, it definitely does feel like in a situation like that where you're kind of looking for like a very good fight, you kind of need to settle for an ideal one that might work out, because otherwise you just end up getting like juggled around like a jungle camp. You saw earlier that DCG were just sitting by, Hana sort of juggling aggro on the flank, and then they just get forced out of river naturally.
Gnar continues to build his lead in the side lane. Does not have TP though, and Cassante does.
He's almost at 100 CS lead.
Yeah, he's getting pretty ahead. Up 2 levels. Okay, so Nara's kind of forced to group here, I think, without his TP, just in case something sort of breaks out. Maybe they want to retake a little bit of Baron control before he goes back bot lane. So actually, yeah, going to come through here, clear out the pink, maybe can sweep some wards. You should see Nara heading back bot lane soon, although it might stay around just until Syndra's clear this top wave and they can kind of seesaw. Syndra going mid, Nara going bot, and vice versa.
And it's a bit of a weird game state with both mid towers still up. We do see that DCG still do have a slight gold lead, but nothing really to write home about. But obviously that Mountain Soul does provide them with a lot of extra sort of stats that are worth gold.
Hey, they're actually looking for a fight. Hana, he gets the ult onto Bruce. Bruce flashes away, dodges the Ashe ult. I don't think there's any more that will actually happen here, but Bruce losing his flash and no flashes burned from DCG. That feels like a dead Lucian next fight. Just gets flashed on by Wukong. It's going to be very difficult to survive.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good recovery at the end, dodging the Ashe ult at the last second. It could have been catastrophic for them. Does manage to stay alive for now. But you can already see DCG waiting in the wings, looking for what they can pick up.
Yeah.
Wow, 4-man stun,
wow,
just
that's
casually.
A lot of damage. Yeah.
That's my Nessie. That's my favorite player.
Okay, J-Team, I think they can take back a little bit of Baron control here, but I'm not sure it really does a whole lot for them. It's just too easy to check with the Ashe Hawk shot. Nara continues to group, doesn't quite have the TP yet.
Yeah, I mean, he can afford to be a mid lane right now. If you take a look at the bot wave, that's just slowly building up for him. So he can kind of sit around here for now and then go back and collect that wave later on. He's not feeling too pressured by that, while Cassante is missing out on even more CS.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of playing slow. It looks like they're going to play for Elder. Nothing else really happening. They could maybe look again on Lucian while he doesn't have flash, but I don't think his flash will be up for the dragon fight. Although it might be, because he has CDR boots. Have to see. Syndra is showing top, does have TP. Potential for JT to look for something here.
Hanabi's juggling his rage meter very carefully, making sure not quite cross that boundary just yet. He's ready for a fight. Let's see if they can find anything. Nesty isn't around, he's clearing the top wave. JT managing to take away that Rift Scuttle, and not too much coming out of this yet. And already Elder Dragon is coming up in 2 minutes. Ooh, wow, that's a good
cancels
vehicle
the bases. Yeah.
That's actually huge, because DCG are now like way ahead in tempo. Another base cancelled.
Yeah, they could maybe look at Baron. The tempo of J-Team is kind of screwed here. They haven't been able to base for a while. Okay, maybe Baron is a bit too ambitious.
Well, they've started to try and bait it.
They could just use this, I think, to match bases of their own. Yeah, I think that's what they're going to do. Just match bases, come back on the map, deploy bot side, and just fully control that Elder. And then in a minute 30, you just win the game, or you force a fight, pretty much.
Yeah, it does feel like DCG are definitely very happy to fight. They've got an extremely strong Hanabi. They've got the range and the pick potential that they need, and they've got Hana to find angles as well. And saying that, it's definitely not a free fight by any means, right? Because J-Team, they've been doing some scaling of their own. Bruce on 3.5 items now, he definitely does do a lot of damage, especially on the members of DCG who, for a majority, don't have that much armor on them.
Okay, this Nami gets... Yeah, she loses flash, and she actually dies here, I think. Yeah, okay, so gets shut down by Syndra.
Wow.
Will they look for the Baron? I think they might. Still 50 seconds until the Elder. You could probably start this and just look to turn. You don't even have to finish this. You still have enough turning tools available that you can just play for the fight. And I think that's what they're going to do.
Oh, you're TPing in his hair, but it's still a 4v5. Hanabi waiting in the
they're
wings.
Positioning for the turn. I don't think they want to finish here. Poppy ult is being charged. Just wait that out.
If he waits that out, that's
okay,
perfect.
They're going for the engage. Hanabi and Hana on the side. Guess the ult. Poppy goes down here. Ooh, I don't think there's... Okay, actually, Azir gets ulted by the Ashe. Flashes out. Ooh, big flash out of Hanabi. Gets 2. Heimerdinger ends up in front line. Not sure how that happens.
Frescata chasing them down.
Ooh, she actually gets 2 off the backside. Cassante trying to do Season 13 things. Might get the Ashe.
No,
oh my god.
1 HP.
It's a mountain soul difference.
That is the perfect fight with DCG.
Oh.
They play that patiently, waiting for Hanabi on the side wing, and just, they just gradually and slowly chase, waiting for the opportunities, and that's going to be a Baron buff given to them for their efforts.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a Baron and Elder taken away here, unless Nami can suddenly solo Elder. I don't think she can. Then they're going to get both. I think DCG just picks these both up. Okay, actually going for recalls. I think you could go straight to Elder, but if you're confident you can get Elder after resetting, that allows you to kind of use that Elder buff for a bit longer. Because if you go to Elder, instantly have to reset, it does kind of waste a lot of time. So and actually leaving it up here, I think, is smart.
Yeah, Frescata was also quite low in mana as well, so it is definitely like... It's a bit riskier than they'd want. They're kind of just playing it safe, getting their resets off, buying some items. They definitely did have a lot of gold in their pockets from that dumpster fire of a fight. But Elder Dragon is now up.
J-Team, they do have flash back up on Lucian, and there's no flash on Gnar or Wukong. Okay, actually finding a pick onto Azir. Azir gets ulted by Ashe. Actually did get hit there.
Mindy's out of the fight.
And he gets over the wall. Oh,
wow, Cassante
just explodes.
That's actually satisfying to see. We don't see that very often. Usually he survives like 20 seconds, pops his ult, and then survives another 20 seconds. But this time he's just down for the count. And now DCG, they have complete control over this Elder Dragon.
Syndra with the flank, huge stun onto Lucian. I think he just instantly dies here.
Wow.
Very nicely played from Nesty. And a TP comes in, but I think he might just be TPing to his death. Instantly has to E out. The Elder's going to go down. Maybe the one good thing about this is you have kind of, spent a lot of Baron time not really using it, but they're going to have the Elder and the Baron here for a little while.
Lava definitely going to try and look for a steal here, but DCG are definitely way onto him. He's forced to go all the way back to the Krugs. They're just going to chase.
Yeah, they might actually go for more.
Hanabi is very strong. He's got Nesty waiting in the back line.
Hey, the Elder's picked up low.
Hanabi's 1v3.
Might go down. He's extremely low. But Hanabi is a Giga Chad for this.
Oh.
But I actually think he might be a dead... Okay,
no. Never mind. He's playing to his limit.
Gets the kill.
Really well done from Hanabi. They're not only zoning, but also pressuring for kills as well.
I think they can end off this. They have the engage tools. They have Baron and Elder. They probably don't have to. They can play it safe if they want to, but they're up 10,000 gold. They have both buffs. I think you can kind of just... I don't think you want to dive, but if they overextend, you can definitely punish them for it. And they're too short ranged to really just walk up and clear this wave. Maybe you just play for mid inhib instead. Okay, yeah, so gonna back off. Probably just go mid.
Misty waving the white flag of surrender. J-Team, yeah, once again, it's hard to see a way for them to get back into this game. They do have, they do have some decent damage. It's not like they don't deal damage, but it's hard to find opportunities to actually get that damage out safely. You've got the Ashe ult coming out pretty much every like 20, 30 seconds. You've got Syndra stuns coming out of nowhere. Quick replay onto the Elder Dragon fight. I guess you could... is it even really a fight?
Yeah, well, I feel like the start actually wasn't too bad for J-Team. A lot of cooldowns were used and they still ended up in a front to back. I think the problem was Cassante kind of overstayed his welcome. I think the Lucian ult didn't really do that much. And then this crucial misposition here, where Bruce ended up just way too far. Syndra, I mean, really nice positioning from Nesty.
It's desperation, right? Because he feels pressure to get vision on it, but it really shouldn't be him doing that. Or anyone, really. I feel like at that point you just have to play for the steal.
Honestly.
DCG coming back onto the map now. Hanabi in the mid lane. They're sending 4 top lane to try and really muscle down that top inhib before coming back around to mid. Objectives are still quite a ways away, so they're really just focused on getting as much as they can while the Elder Dragon is still running.
Yeah. So they're actually going to get another inhib. Will they go for 3? I think they actually might be able to. And Nami ult comes out, but I think even if it hits Hanabi, it's not really going to do a whole lot. Okay, they have cleared the mid wave though, so I don't think any more inhibs will be going down. At least not yet. But you have to feel J-Team, they're kind of just... feels like they're delaying the inevitable at this point. It's so hard for them to leave their base. It's so hard to get on the map and get these objectives.
And it's incredibly easy for them to get picked up from one shot as well. It's not exactly a situation you want to be in. Hanabi, oh, Lava getting stunned up.
Okay, he manages to get out. This tower's going to start taking some damage. I think it's, yeah, okay, they're actually going to get 3 inhibs here, I think. Don't really have any tools left to punish. Hanabi's also mega. He might look for an engage. Okay, Zia tries to go in onto a Nara for some reason. Lots of damage coming out from Ashe and Heimer. Hanabi still has flash ult. Kind of just playing it slow. Got the 3rd inhib. They can probably just siege with the minions and end up picking up the game. Just got to play it slow. Ashe ult comes through, hits the Azir. Ooh, gets ulted, and so much comes through, but Wukong's in the backline. And the Azir just kind of gets blown up, and Hana, he actually manages to get out. Just got to putting out a lot of damage on the back end of this fight. I think this is it.
Yeah, they really did Minji alive.
Ooh, another huge Cinder stun, as well as the Ashe follow-up. Wow, okay, Ashe and Cinder kind of pog-champ this fight. And that is going to be it. Both towers will be going down.
Oh, they're padding the KDAs again. Oh,
this is it.
There it is. Can I get Lauva as well? No, they're going to look to end the game first. But that is going to be a big dub for DCG.